Hello. So I know I'm in the shadow, but oof. Okay, you don't need to see all that. My Arizona green tea cans, all my teas, hair products, lotion, bags. Anyway, I was inspired by ooh, Eve, Everlong Mystic. Um, she did her Everlong Mystic in the dark. And she was like, since I do the zodiac in the dark, it's only fair that I reveal, I do my own in the dark. And I post it. And I was like, you know what? I like that. So I'm going to use the Mystical Medleys and the Revelation edition of the Spirit Keepers Tarot. I'm going to find a spread in the book. I don't know if the little white book has a spread in it or not, or has spreads in it. But if the little white book doesn't, I'll pull up the book of maps. No, it doesn't. Excuse me. Then I'll pull up the book of maps and do self read. So it's all exclusively for me at your viewing discretion. There we go. I would say viewing pleasure, but I need to find. Here it is. I'll find the spreads 1 second. Mesopotamia. Hold up. Go back. Some design. I feel like. I guess if there aren't any spreads in the book of maps, then I'll do something different. I thought there were. Hold up. Okay. I found the table of contents. The table of contents is the same. So there might not be spreads here. Well, then the Vitruvian edition, like she went in. She went in. I think this is more. I mean, I guess there is. Oh, well, I guess there is more. Um, a lot more about like the cards and the different everything that she pulled from. So, excuse me. And if you can't see me, it's because, I mean, I guess I could. Hey Siri, we're live. I don't even know if Siri heard me. Hey Siri, we're live. Siri is not listening. We're live. Please.
Here's some information.
Not real life. Oh gosh. Hey Siri, we are live.
All set.
There we go. Is that any better? Maybe. We'll see. So I guess I'll just pull up. Excuse me. Maybe I'll use those to clarify this. Yeah, I'll do that. I did find a spread in the Mystical Medleys. It's the Lights, Camera, Action spread. And I read a little bit of the little intro thing, and they were like, if life was like a movie, like, and you're the actor, this is the role you play, something like that. I don't know. I'll read it. Right? I feel like I'm so much better at shuffle. I didn't even finish that Mesopotamian series. I didn't finish. I got like 3 Zodiac series open right now. You finished none of them. Let's see if I go back. Okay, so I'm gonna set these off to the side here. And I'll pull up. Oh, it's right here. It's this one. See if you can see it. You see that? There you go. Life is a movie, baby, and you're the star. This spread treats your life as though you're playing the lead role, but you're an actor, and fame can be cruel. Card 1 represents you and the role you will play on life's great stage. Card 2, the director, is someone who will help guide you along the way. Is this someone you recognize or someone you haven't met yet? Card 3 is your script, something to refer back to when you can't quite remember your line. Card 4 is the studio, the outside influence that will try to dictate how you live your life. Card 5 is your claim to fame, what you will become, or what will you become known for. I was like, oh, that's cute. I like that. I like that. And then they have a spirit scale. This instantly made me think of Russell. Hey, Steph, how you doing? The spirit scale. What is life but a song? This spread takes you through the classic musical scale. Each of these notes also corresponds with a chakra point. That means that each note also has a spiritual meaning attached to it. As you do this spread, it may help to treat it as a kind of meditation. Get into a comfortable position, ground yourself, and as you lay down each card, imagine a bright light floating over each chakra point to really get yourself in tune. Oh, to really get yourself in tune, try humming each note as you lay down the card. I saw like musical scale, and I was like, oh, Russell, okay. It does remind me of meditation class. Woo! When we went up the scale, and like when you hit the crown chakra, that knee, I was like, oh, I got into it. And then I went with one of my buddies. He was like, oh my gosh, Pat, you were so loud. I was like, hey, I ain't come here to play. I'm just playing. Oh, goodness. Are these? No. How many cards is this? 3 cards. I think I'll take this as position 1. The cards that came out: Death in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Tower in reverse. That's 13, 14, 16. I'm not complaining about a 15 not being in this spread. Death in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Tower in reverse. As one, the role you will play on life's great stage. Well, I believe in multifacetedness, and we're different things for different people. Sure. So card 2, who's the director? We'll see. I might just pull it. I am. And I'll leave it face down. It's 2 cards. Card 3, the script. I'll give it 3, 2, 1, and I'll take top and bottom. 2 from the bottom. Okay. 4, the studio. Outside influence. So that one came out. The outside influence, it actually came out on top of the script, which makes sense. And the claim to fame, number 5. Oh. This card like came up and then it went back down. But some of them, oh no. Ah, no. No. Well, 15 showed up. This is funny. The bottom of the deck at the end of it is the Two of Swords. So the cards that I can see, the first position, like they all came out. So I was like, okay. I think I'm gonna read these from the book too. Uh just to familiarize myself with the book a little bit. See if I like it. Um so the first position came out three cards face up. The last position is three cards. But I guess that makes sense. If I have three different, so there's three different roles and three claims to fame. The bottom of the deck was the Two of Swords. So maybe I get to choose which role I want to play. The cards that I see, it's Death in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Tower in reverse as the roles. And I'll read it a little bit more too. The role you will play on life's great stage, and then the claim to fame, what will you become known for? It's the Devil upright, Strength upright, and the Six of Wands upright. So 15 showed up. Role you will play on life's great stage, Death in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Tower in reverse. We'll start with Death. Here comes Death, riding on a pale horse, ready to reap the rich harvest. He's here to do his work. I don't know if you can see it. It's sad and unavoidable, but it's time to let go, and you need to accept that. Don't worry, it's not the end. The dawn of a new day is just on the horizon, and what you've achieved sails on into the ever flowing ocean. It's never too late to sow the seeds and grow the crops, but which of the fruits of your labor are ripe for harvest? Which things are missing? It's time to leave this bounty behind and make way for a new day. Temperance in reverse. At the end of a long and winding road, you frolic, beaming with joy at the place in which you've arrived. The golden path is lined with adoration and accomplishments. It's been a long journey to bring you here, but great works require such undertakings and can take a lifetime to achieve. The angel within has taken flight and unleashed the superstar's great potential. Take the contradictions of your life firmly in both hands and let your true self flow. Reinvent yourself over and over again and find the right measure to succeed. Aim high in your life. There's no wishful thinking here. When fate and ambition combine, great things are possible. I also wanted to I wanted to read it as if like I'm reading for like a general reading. Like I want to do a general reading, but for myself specifically. You know what I mean? Just to go in with the intention of like stretching me beyond what I may perceive. I don't read for myself often. I mean, I don't do it like ever anymore. I pull a card for each month at the end of the year for the next year. This year I didn't. I looked at it a few times, but it's funny because my card for December is actually the Two of Swords. Um, so maybe this came at the perfect time. The Tower. This sturdy, steadfast watchtower built on solid ground has reached too far towards the heavens. No longer a perfect portal of protection. Delusions of grandeur have turned it into an ivory tower. Flames of passion have opened eyes to witness what was once important come crashing down around them. I'm going to read that again. I read that weird. That's a long sentence. And that's not like there isn't even a period at the end of that. A perfect portal of protection. Delusions of grandeur have turned into an ivory tower. Flames of passion have opened eyes to witness what was once important come crashing down around them. The king has lost his crown. Have the figures lost control and fallen from the tower, or have they taken the plunge and flown? At this very moment, there is no fear of landing, and they exist between two extremes. As you build your experiences in life, keep everything in sight and treat each task as an experiment. Upheavals happen, but this can be a good thing. And it came out in reverse with Death in Reverse and Temperance in Reverse. There's a lot of, it's almost like big, fast moving energy. But it's making me think of like, I feel like if all of these were upright, it would be an energy that takes time. It's like something big that plays out over a long time that eventually something happens. It's like if there's a character arc in a show, but it takes like 3 seasons to like wrap up, or like 5 seasons, instead of it all happening within the space of a few episodes, or like a season or half a season. So there is something here with Death in Reverse. It's right where you are. With Temperance in Reverse, it's right now. And with the Tower in Reverse, that's the one. Tower in Reverse almost feels like a reverse entropy. And I did read an article, I came across an article a few weeks ago about how they've observed, I don't know if they have observed or if it's still theoretical, but time moving backwards. They're like, if the system is small enough and if it's inconsequential enough, it can actually reverse. And it made me think of entropy. Entropy is the natural state of the universe to lean towards chaos and disorder. But it's interesting that entropy is a thing because in like molecular chemistry, molecules and compounds sit at the conformation. They arrange themselves in a way that's like the most orderly. And so it's like we have this grand universal tendency to lean towards chaos and disorder, but on the microscopic level, everything tends to order an organization. Maybe with the Two of Swords being at the bottom of the deck, it is about meeting extremes in a way. And that I can see for myself, definitely. But Death and the Tower aren't two completely opposite energies. Hey, Holly, how are you doing? I mean, if I take the opposite of the reversal, it would be life. What's the opposite of temperance? It's like life, no chaser, and something long standing. But this is the role, right? The role you play on life's, or the role I play, the role I will play on life's great stage. It feels like it's moving backwards. Yeah, it's evening. Is it evening here? I think it's evening. Yeah, it's evening here too. I'm like, I don't know what time it is. I mean, is this the evening? Yeah, it's evening. It's evening here. I'm doing pretty good as well. Thank you for asking. I got to do some stuff like in real life that I'm like, it's very Two of Swords. I'm like, I'm a little Two of Swords about it, but at the same time, it is one of those things that it's like it's better solved in the moment. It's very a stitch in time saves nine, and I'm not trying to nine stitch something later. So, got to be a big boy. Got to step up. It's only 3:30 there. It is 6:30 here. And it feels like it's flowing backwards because it's like it's almost like reminding. It's not old though. Oh, this ain't even. Oh my gosh. What future? Oh, I don't know. Because it feels like it's like going back to something. Let's move on. Maybe it'll reveal itself. The director, someone who will help guide you along the way. Is this someone you recognize or someone you haven't met yet? Well, here's 17. So I got 13, 14, 16 in reverse, followed by 17 and the King of Pentacles. The star and the King of Pentacles as the director. So what I focus on in the star, there's the water that gets poured onto the land. Some of it makes its way back into the lake, the pond, the bigger body of water. Some of it goes in other places. Well, four of them go in other places. One of them goes back to the water. Let's see what the star says. I do like this book though. You are a shining, shimmering star on earth. Take the source of your truth in hand. Your dreams can never run dry. When you fill your world with such dedication and capture your highest hopes, you can truly light up not only the night, but also the day. Don't be modest. Open up and make a significant addition. Shed your inhibitions and recognize your place in the universe, but be cautious not to get out of touch with reality and live with your head in the clouds. Listen carefully, and you will hear the mystical messengers on your shoulder. They are here to guide you with wondrous wisdom. You are part of a much bigger, glittering galaxy. It's funny because that says like guide you, and this is the director guides. Also, I just listened to it was a mashup between Dua Lipa and Doja Cat. What's that? Levitating and whatever the Doja Cat song was. But I know there's the part where she's like glitter in the sky, glitter on my eyes, something something. I barely know the words. But she And then there's something about the galaxy. I don't know. It's in the song. The King of Pentacles. Let's see. This king has got everything he's ever dreamed of. A powerhouse of fulfilled potential. The king of the castle is generous to a fault. As he dispenses wisdom or donates wealth, his success becomes yours. Pay it forward till the end of time. Aw, that's kind of sweet. I love that a powerhouse of fulfilled potential because the early half of my life, half, I'm not even the early, what, 25, 28ths of my life or 24, 28ths. So what's that? 12 14ths, which is 6/7ths, right? 6 times 4, 7 times 4. Yeah. The early 6/7ths of my life was a lot of feeling unfulfilled potential. Oh, snap. Well, I'm already subscribed, Steph. So if you do it, it'll pop up on my list. I think I dinged the bell, but I can't remember. I had to go and find you. Excuse me. But I am subbed. I should be. Glitter in the sky. Mhm. I love that Don't Be Modest is here in the 17. Because the 15, well, because what? Your claim to fame, my claim to fame is the devil's strength in the 6 of Wands. The director is saying, like, don't be modest and be generous. Fulfill your potential. There's something about fulfilled potential, but death. See, because death, temperance, and something about death, temperance, and the tower all in reverse. It's reading very um it's like there's something, it's like a seed that was planted that nobody thought would grow. And with all of these coming out in reverse, it's like, no, like, look, it will grow. We just need to change up the way we take care of it. We need to change our approach. There's something that's very like, don't abandon this. There's still a lot of value here. And so maybe the director, it's almost like a show and tell. Excuse me. It's like do it yourself. Well, maybe that's it. Do it yourself. Don't be modest and share. Because, the more you share, the more it propagates. Maybe sharing waters the seed. We'll see. Step 3 is the script, something to refer back to when you can't quite remember your line. And there's 3 cards here too. Oh my gosh, number 18. 18 is here. So 13, 14, 16 in reverse, 17 in the space of the director, 18 in the space of the script. And it's also coming with the Page of Swords, the Page and the Queen of Swords. The Page of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Moon. And I like this both ways. Your old channel was Angel Whispers. Oh. I think I might remember you saying that. But I think you also say you deleted it. Excuse me. Oh, I'm ready for bed. Life. Work today was like, I told my big boss, I was like, this is the most physical day I've had at work since I started. All around, up and downstairs all day, moving stuff upstairs, taking stuff downstairs, reaching. I was like, oh, I'd rather be in the hood. Hello? It's fine. With this moving forward, the Queen of Swords into the Page of Swords into the Moon, there's an energy of like, drop your guard, drop your expectations, drop your perceptions, approach it with a fresh mind in the page. And then it's like things working out a whole lot better. It's like better than the Queen of Swords would have thought. Now, if this is going from the Moon into the Page of Swords into the Queen of Swords, it's like the opposite. It's this energy where it's like there's something unknown but very good vibe. Page of Swords, naturally inquisitive, goes to seek it out and then becomes this Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords, like, there's obviously, some stuff that she's been through along the journey, but at the end of it, she's the queen. So, and it is moon energy. I'm still like, it's so wild. Like, 13, 14, 15, or 13, 14, 16, and then 17, and then 18. 15 is already over here with 8. And I'm going to read all of these. I think I like this book. I think I love this book. Shining bright in an ocean of feeling, as if night has become day, the majestic moon swims and stirs up emotions long hidden away. Down a long path, through the mountains of time, the creatures gather to play. Look at the tamed dog enamored with the wild wolf. Lifelong feelings and cravings are brought to the fore and need to be set loose before they slip away again. Diving down to the hidden depths, the gates to heaven are bending to your will. Why not just run through them? Your life needs to be lived to the full, going back to that fulfilled potential, going back to that 6/7 of my life being very not lived to anything, with empathy and love for all aspects of nature and humanity. Perhaps your nighttime fantasies can be fulfilled during the day. And the star said something about what shining so bright, but I'll just read it. You can truly light up not only the night, but also the day. Perhaps your nighttime fantasies can be fulfilled during the day. So there is an energy. It's like it's not forgetting. Death in reverse, temperance in the reverse, the tower in the reverse. It's like my role is to not forget or to remember or to keep alive or something like that. Probably long past the point where anyone else cares, but that's fine. Excuse me. It could be my connection. It could be because I know it seems lately there'll be patches where it's just like questionable signal, but I think Steph clarity. It could always be something that you release and then you go back to. Um, because it's like maybe it's to be understood at a certain level in the moment, and then you release the message, and as you live life and things are revealed, and as other people live life and things are revealed, it's like the clarity is something that comes in time or with more experience, or not experience, just more time. But it's still sort of like you have as much as you need to know in the moment. And then if you don't like it, you could always, private it or delete it if you don't feel it. Excuse me. So the Page of Swords. What carefree, crazy idea is in your happy head today? I feel like that could be said like so meanly. Like, what carefree, crazy idea is in your happy head today? You can do anything with that extraordinary experimental thinking of yours. Pull a sword from a stone, perhaps. Go for it and show the world what you can do. So much of this is like the director is like King of Pentacles, the star. Like, shine, have a presence, have a powerful presence, but still be generous. The script is like, bring nighttime wishes and dreams into the light of day. Page of Swords, like your experimental whatever mind can accomplish, like you can do anything. Go for it and show the world what you can do. Queen of Swords, I want to break free. That's that. I want to break free. Slip off your captivating chains. You're on cloud nine now, and childhood dreams can be fulfilled if you choose the good inside you. You don't need to be worshipped. Your tantalizing talents and wedded wit shine for all to see. You are poised to protect what's important to you. What is this? Everything is like similar. So I like that the director and the script align. Now, what is this? The studio came on top of it, fell out on top of the script. So I don't know if the studio is gonna like have a different idea in mind. Well, I'll just flip it over and see. Yeah, see, the studio is the Five of Pentacles. I feel like this is, it's like a heavy dose, not a heavy dose, but it's a dose of reality. And see, like all of this is like the Queen of Swords literally just said, like, break free. What did it say? Break free, slip off your captivating change. You're on cloud nine now. Childhood dreams can be fulfilled. The fulfillment of childhood dreams. When the Page of Swords said, go for it, show the world what you can do anything. Carefree, crazy ideas in a happy head. Extraordinary and experimental thinking. And then the Cups, the Five of Pentacles comes in and it's like, no, no, we don't want that ending. We don't like, I'm like, let's see, I'll read it. The Five of Pentacles. Help me if you can. I'm feeling down. The struggle is real, but you can weather this storm. Lean on friends in times of trouble, or offer a helping hand yourself. A problem shared is a problem halved. And that's the studio, the outside influence. Oh well. Sorry. The outside influence that will try to dictate how you live your life. So the script is telling me one thing, the director is telling me something very similar. And then here's like that heavy dose of reality. See, but I feel like I have a natural aversion to people like this. Maybe it's the Pisces in me. Maybe it's the dreamer in me. But it's like I don't need anybody to tell me to be realistic. I don't need anybody who's not going to encourage and support me. I don't need anybody who's going to tear me down and try to fill me up with self-doubt, especially I don't have to go all the way into it, but it's like especially people who sort of like play small in their own lives. Like one of the things that I've never ever subscribed to or believed in is that like, well, if I can't do it, then you can't do it. Or if somebody else couldn't do it, then you can't do it. If nobody else can do it, like what makes you think you're special? And like the director is the star, the King of Pentacles. The script is the moon with the Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Like, bring it into the light, make it known. King of Pentacles is like literally like be it, show it, share it. And then it's like Five of Pentacles. I mean, it's not an outside, again, it's not an outside influence that I give into. I don't think it's an outside influence I've ever given into. No, it comes from when if it's an inside influence, that's a different thing. That's a different story altogether. And so the claim to fame being the devil, strength, and the six of wands, excuse me, it makes a lot more sense because this is the studio. And to be seen as devil energy by this energy, and I feel like this isn't even, it feels like very avaricious. It feels like petty jealousy and stuff like that. And I was like, no problem, Steph. Oh, snap. That's fun. I love that. F the producers or the studio. F the studio. They don't get it. The director gets it. That's why the director is directing. Whoever wrote this script gets it. The studio was like, well, and like, we can find another studio because the movie is going to sell. You're going to lose out on all the profits that you could have made. But then it's like, if you do stuff the way that this studio is going to have you do it, it's not even going to be the same thing. So all of this energy that is like fulfilling potential and do the thing, be the thing, step into it. It's like if you abide by all of these edits, it's not even going to be anything remotely close to what it was originally supposed to be. And this is an energy, it's like, I guess if I'm not careful, because this is a self read, it's like if I'm not careful and if I fall into this trying to be more palatable or fit into the mold or cause less trouble, take up less space, do it the way that, like, it should be done or whatever. It's like all of the things that make it special, that make it unique, that makes it stand out, everything that aligns it to me would be gone if I do this. So not only am I not going to experience any success here, I won't even experience the success that was mine to experience. Because, that's what happens when you listen to the studio. Not every studio is great. Not every studio is great. And just because a studio has made a good movie, like, even if it is a good studio, it's like if you have a script, if you have a message that doesn't fit what the studio usually does and what the studio is known for, then it's like, yeah, like they're gonna try to change it to make it like everything else that they do. But again, it's like something about the character, something about the story, it's like the heart of it. Literally the card on this in the Two of Swords. It's like the heart should always be present regardless of what struggles, regardless of anything that you can't see, whenever you hit indecision or whatever, and there's the moon again up there, it's just like the heart should be present. And if your heart's not in it, or if something in your heart tells you not to do it, then it's like, don't do it. And by you, I mean me. She has a big decision to make. Ooh. I feel like, well, maybe not. I don't know if if someone's like, "Hey, like, can you pull me a few cards? I have a big decision to make." I'm like, I don't know. You might want someone else to do it. I mean, I could do it and see what I get, but yeah, very that. And it's like, I think that's why the role is what the role is. That's why the role is like death in reverse, temperance in reverse, the tower in reverse. It's a very stubborn energy. It's very stubborn because it's not going to comply with whatever this studio is asking for. There's like I feel like the knowing isn't necessarily here because I'm not seeing like high, well, I guess hierophant wouldn't necessarily be a knowing. I'm not seeing a lot of like knowing cards. I mean, only one of these is like the role that I would play, right? besides the Two of Swords. It's an energy that's like it's led by curiosity, it's led by resonance, it's led by intrigue, it's led by feeling. And that was the thing about the moon, right? It's like deep feeling and stuff like that. And I am of the mind sometimes it's better to be outside. It's better to be outside than it is to be inside, miserable, rotting, like fetid and putrid, and like it's better to be outside in the cold. I like the cold actually. I was sitting outside on my break, and then somebody walked in. They were like, "You're choosing to sit out in the cold?" I was like, "Yeah." Now I still go outside. I just don't sit down because there's like a rock that I sit on, and the rock does the opposite of toast my buns, and I'm like, "Oof." So I stand outside now. Um, but I don't mind the cold, and I don't mind being alone either. Like it's not my preference, but I prefer being alone over being in the company of people that I don't like or in a vibe that I don't like. It's like I'll pass. I'm fine. Better off alone. And then I sent one of my friends a snap yesterday, and she was like, "I love how much fun you have with yourself." I make myself laugh. I entertain myself. I'm good. My world, my internal world is very I don't know, it's a nice place, you know what I mean? And I'm very much of the mind. I've become of the mind more recently, especially. So it's like I will withhold until the environment matches. It's like I'll just wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Maybe this person that I'm dealing with now, like that's kind of sort of where it started. Cause I would see her and she was like, if I didn't, she's the type of person, if I didn't have to deal with her, I wouldn't. And so every time I would go see her, the top of the meeting would be a whole bunch of crazy foolishness that was designed to make me feel worse about myself, especially when I came in like a semi vulnerable position. And so I would just look at her and give bare minimum response and interaction until like all that weird stuff was gone. And then it's like, okay, but like, I'm not going to play with you in this. I'm not going to engage you in this. If you're not helping me, if you're not moving me forward, if you're not encouraging me, like what use do I have for you in my life? And it's not that I think that like people are there to be used, but I'm like, you want me to just like let you tear me down and take it and internalize it? Like if you think I'm about to internalize any of this, you're mistaken. It's not gonna happen. And it didn't happen. I'm glad it didn't happen. But anyway, and now that everything's wrapped up, like I feel like somebody wants a whole bunch of appreciation and they want I'm like, I ain't got nothing for you. You did actually less than the bare minimum for me. I don't know what you're expecting. I definitely will not be keeping in touch. So but anyway. Anyway. Oh, I do like the code because there's no bugs. You are very right about that. You are very right about that. You're very right. You had snow for a couple of days in Arkansas? Well, maybe if you're a little, maybe you can go somewhere and see some snow. Maybe you can go somewhere for like a few days and then go back to somewhere warmer if you're like, okay, that's enough snow. So yeah, for anybody or anything that we would be like for any Five of Pentacles studio, I will gladly be outside. I will gladly be rebellious. I will gladly march to the beat of my own drum. Because if I don't like your tune, why would I be in your symphony? Hello? Why would I be in your orchestra? Why would I be in your choir? Why would I give you or lend you my energy or meld into that? It's like, no. Mm-mm. No, not even sorry about it. Anyway, That's my Taurus moon. That's my Taurus moon in my first house. And when I first saw my birth chart, I was like, oh my gosh, my planets are all over the place. This is why I'm all over the place. I've gotten so much appreciation from my birth chart and so much appreciation just for like who I am as a person and how so many different I feel like in the past I would always feel that the different aspects and facets to me would like clash or hold like dissonance. It would be like dissonant, it would clash, very like polarized, like indecisive, wishy-washy. Like I see it this way and I see it that way. I've experienced how much of a strength it can be when I learn to find the harmonies or get them on the same page or like Shayna, hello. Hello. How are you doing? Michigan. Ooh, Michigan gets snow. Michigan is close to Canada though. I still want to go try poutine. Canada is on my list actually. There's at least two cities in Canada that I need to visit. One of them, if I can, if law allows, I should go to next year. Kathy, Twitty. Hello, Twitty. I saw your name, and for some reason, well, I saw your message. For some reason, it didn't register in my brain until I saw Holly say Kathy. And then I was like, oh, where's Kathy? And then I saw your message again. I was like, oh, there's Kathy. It's fine. It's all like self reads today anyway. So if you want to tune in, you can. If you don't, that's also fine. Because I was inspired by Eve doing Everlong Mystic in the Dark. And I was like, you know what? I should do a self read. So that's what I'm doing. And I've been kind of wanting to like read myself with some of the new decks that I have. I just haven't done it. Well, some of them, yeah. I keep thinking like I'll look at them and I'll be like, oh, I should pick those up, and then I'll go to sleep. Like not today. You just finished Made on Netflix. What? I've been thinking about getting Netflix. I've been thinking about getting Netflix because there's an account that I could use, but I don't feel comfortable sharing someone else's account with other people. Um, but then I saw something on Twitter yesterday. It was like the person who watches Netflix the least is the one who owns the account. And I was like, low key true. Because every time I get Netflix, I'll watch it for like a week, 2 weeks. I'll like watch a show and then I'll watch the new season of the Netflix shows that I watch. And then it'll be like months that I don't use it. So I cancel it. And then after I cancel the subscription, then there's stuff I want to watch on Netflix. But I'm like, I just had Netflix for months and I didn't watch it. Like, why would I spend my money? So I'm kind of going back and forth about Netflix. New Brunswick. Excuse me. I know not where that is. Canada. I assumed, but I still don't know. I do remember you talking about Canada and Rob's life, though. Oh, a minute ago. I think you called in. Canada's been on my list since like 2010, maybe? I think about 2010, 2011. Canada's been on my list. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Monton? Is that how you pronounce it? Monton? I don't know. So that was the studio. Oh, I didn't. Did I read the Five of Pentacles? Yeah, I read it. The studio's the Five of Pentacles. The studio's like, you're supposed to be miserable. I did that though for a good 6/7 of my life. For a good like 24 to 25 years of my life, I did that. I did the life or the hand that life has dealt me has been terrible and I have no future. Anything that I could contribute wouldn't even be worthwhile or whatever. Like, you know? So, like, there was a point in time, I guess, where I bought into the studio, but I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to do that. So, the death upright, tower upright, temperance upright was I guess, like, that's when I left the Five of Pentacles studio. And I've kind of sort of been, well, at first, I was trying to make my way back to who I was before I sold out to the studio in the first place. Like, when I was a kid, I was very extroverted, very social and sociable. And then, like, life happened, things unfolded, I isolated, became extremely introverted. I used to like always be around family, like, stop doing a lot of that stuff. So, in the beginning of my journey, it was like, I want to get back to the me that was like happy and like loved people and would always go up to the new person in class and do stuff like that. No problem, Twitty. What did I do? You're welcome. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Who was a frog? Oh, your high school boyfriend was a frog? Oh, it's near rain. Okay. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Oh, no problem. If you find resonance with it, I mean, it's telling me to share. um, but yeah, like I did that. And then the beginning of my journey, it was a lot of like, I want to go back to who I used to be. So death in reverse, temperance in reverse, tower in reverse. That's almost like that reverse entropy energy, though. It's like when death was upright, temperance was upright, and then the tower was upright. Everything was falling apart. Everything was decaying. Everything was dying. But it's like it was my intention, I guess, to like undo it. But at some point, I realized that everything that I learned and everything that I gained, even though I was very much in pain and trauma and completely blind to a lot of things, it's like there were still things in those moments or in that time that I needed to remember or keep. It was very like it's not about trying to get back to who I was before in the way of like undoing who I am now. It's more about finding the place where they sort of meet and then moving forward even more. You know what I mean? Which was it's very like take the lesson, take the growth, take the strength and leave the pain, leave the trauma. In some ways, maybe leave the story. And then get to the place where, because it's like there are some things that only opened because I went through what I went through. Some pathways that wouldn't have been open the first time because I didn't yet know what I didn't know, and I didn't experience what I didn't experience, and I didn't yet overcome the things that I overcame. So there were things about self that I would have never gotten to know or experience or learn, sides, facets of myself that, you know, I never would have had the need or sometimes or in some ways even the opportunity to get to know. And it's like, is it fair to like completely abandon? And that's when I guess that's when I went through that, like, I'm not going to abandon myself the way that I've always been hurt by or feared being abandoned by others. Like the last person I would want to be abandoned by is me. And then at that revelation, I had, like, I'm crying, of course, and I'm breaking down, like, oh my gosh, like I did this to me. What? And so I was like, I did it. I did it for a minute. And I was like, you know what? I've been working with this studio for a while. I think I want to branch out. It's like when an actor wants to do something different, since we're talking about lights, camera, action. It's like, I want a different role. I'm tired of playing the same roles for this crap studio that makes billions of dollars off of my work and I get nothing. What? Anyway. Moncton. Five baby bunnies. I remember those little bunnies. That's how you pronounce it. Okay, Moncton. I didn't know if it was like French or something, so it'd be like Monton, like Mont Blanc or something like that. I don't know French. I don't know French. Wait, where's Shayna? I don't know. Yeah, I know. It is French. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce French. Whatever. I don't know. Moncton. Okay. Because it's like with French, like there's letters all over the place that you don't even pronounce. And I was like, what? They have silent C's? Because I played what, Persona 5, and I thought it was LeBlanc or something, but it's like LeBlanc. I'm like, what? You don't pronounce the C in LeBlanc? Anyway, the claim to fame. What will you become known for? Oof, feeling real. Let's see. We'll read it. We'll read it. Here's the 15. So we didn't get the 19. The 19 didn't come out, but I guess this studio, this is one of those like sappy movie studios that doesn't believe in happy endings. So I'm not surprised that, the Five of Pentacles studio wouldn't give me a sun energy. I don't know if Five of Pentacles studios are capable of giving out sun energy, which is why sometimes I'll be like, is that a Five of Pentacles studio that you working with over there? And are you expecting anything but like Five of Pentacles, maybe Ten of Swords, maybe some like Five of Cups, Five of Swords, Five of Wands, like Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands? It's like, are you expecting like Two of Cups, Ten of Cups, Nine Cups, Six Pentacles, the Sun out of that studio? Because that's not how they make their bread. They're not that kind of bakery. So anyway, wait, what? Oh, yeah, I am. I'm using the Mystical Medleys deck, and I'm reading the book to see if I like it. They had a spread in the back. It's the lights, camera, the lights, camera, action spread, and that's the one I'm doing right now. So, in swoops the daunting devil of darkness. Be afraid, ye lowly mortals, for what have you been hiding? What have you neglected as you grew to be an adult? My whole self. Body, mind, emotions, and feelings. Was there any way I thought I was like protecting myself, but anyway. What have you neglected as you grew to be an adult? Luckily, this friendly denizen of dilemmas has brought fire to illuminate the darkness and bring everything into the light. See, there's that like that energy again. Search around you and you will find treasure hidden among the trash. It's time to cast off those shackles you've become so accustomed to and let go of your prejudices. This is literally, I mean, the Queen of Swords by itself talked about removing the shackles, right? That's in the script. This is a good script writer. Like, if I become famous just for following the script, like, what? All I had to do was like read and act. I mean, but if it's literally in the script, but like, what is that? Like letting go of prejudices. I feel like that's Queen of Swords into the Page of Swords. Because I think sometimes Queen of Swords energy has been through so much or knows so much, it can be kind of difficult for Queen of Swords and even King of Swords energy and somewhat Knight of Swords energy to cast off like everything that they've become accustomed to and everything that they think they know about how the world works and how people operate and stuff like that. It's almost like only the Page of Swords within that suite or within that castle is capable of at least more fully. It's like living in it to experience it firsthand. It feels like if the king or queen of swords, even if they are more open minded, it feels very like from the outside. It's either like a send an emissary or a whatchamacallit person to experience it and to get the information, and then they come back, or it observes it from a distance. But only the Page of Swords like gets in it and experience. It's like a fully immersive, full immersion learning rather than like Rosetta Stone or some class. You know what I mean? It took you years to stop saying A after every sentence. That's funny. Ooh, the jury's still out on what? Oh, my nose. I told you I like this book. It's time to cast off those shackles you've become so accustomed to and let go of your prejudices. See your problems in a new light and bring them out in the open for all to see. Once you recognize your fears and face your foes, the unknown becomes known. But is this a curse or a blessing? Well, it's my ticket to fame, so I'll take it. I feel like that's something that I feel like maybe more so, especially like last March, April, and then what, June, July. I feel like there was a lot of stuff that I was like, you know what? Like, this is what I'm like going through right now, and it sucks. But I feel like, it's all a part of the journey. And I think, like, I know that I feel sometimes I can come from a pretty strong place. And so that's why I personally think it's also equally important for me to like share vulnerability or darkness or not something or like something not great when I'm going through it. You know what I mean? So I'm not like only giving out a particular whatever, like message or a side. You know what I mean? So you'll find it, I guess, if you look for it, if you want to see it. But I ain't always been like this. So we go from 15 to 8. 8 is strength. I guess I ain't even really been showing the cards. So these are what I'll become famous for. Strength. Bedazzling beauty, beholding her brave beasts. It's a tale that's old as time. There's time again. Locked together in an eternal embrace. It's as if they are, in fact, one person, two sides of the same soul. They depend on each other. Each makes the other one stronger. Even the wildest of beasts can be tamed, and the most restless of minds soothed. Together, they can reach the highest peaks of experience on a roller coaster ride of emotions. And that reminds me of the moon card. It's like the tamed beast enamored by the wild wolf. That's like, this is literally like what I was just talking about. When I was like, at first, I felt like there was a part of me that like wanted to get back to the me that was so enamored with life and like everything that I didn't know, and like to experience something new and something different, to meet someone new and different, and to, through getting to know them and like listening to them and interacting with them, to what, vicariously, I guess, experience the world from their perspective. Like all of that I had when I also had like an extremely short fuse. So my fuse has gotten considerably longer because of all the like isolation and stoicism and stuff like that. So that's one thing. That's one thing that I actually gained by not being so like in my emotions all the time and not being so temperamental. Temperance is here. I'm a lot less temperamental than I used to be. At least I don't act out on it as much. If I'm internally, even internally, I'm a lot less temperamental than I used to be. But with the strength, like, it's as if they are in fact one person. That's why I say, like, no matter who I am in a given moment, no matter which side of me is brought out by the environment I'm in, I'm always me. Like, this is me when I'm at work. This is me when I'm on YouTube. This is me when I'm on YouTube talking about the thing that I'm talking about now. That is me when I'm on YouTube talking about something else. This is me at work on the day I'm having today. This is me at work at the day I had last week. And the day I had 2 weeks ago might be the day that I have. It's not going to be the day I have tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to get to do it right because 2 weeks ago, I did it in a way that I was able to come to an understanding that I don't want to do it in the future. So tomorrow, I get to do it right. I get to do it differently. I get to do it from a place of more knowing and understanding and experience than I had 2 weeks ago. But anyway, oh yeah, the deck. Excuse me. Yes, and I'm like, yes, and that's it. Behind the scenes, oh, like whose line is it anyway? I like that show. I had a point in time, was it last year or earlier this year, when like my YouTube recommendations was full of whose line is it in anyway, and I was just like watching it. I was loving it. I was like, I'm gonna watch this show. Oh, I didn't even finish reading this card, so I'll start from the top. Bedazzling beauty, beholding her brave beast, it's a tale that's old as time. Locked together in an eternal embrace, it's as if they are in fact one person, two sides of the same soul. They depend on each other. Each makes the other one stronger. Even the wildest of beasts can be tamed, and the most restless of minds soothed. Together, they can reach the highest peaks of experience on a roller coaster ride of emotions. Forget half hearted goals. Concentrate your strength and vitality on the task in hand or at hand. Use wisdom, seize the day, and live life to the full. So that's going back. See, like all of this energy, especially like the director, the script, live life to the full, fulfill your potential, use that experimental sort of thinking, those like crazy creative ideas. The studio, Five of Pentacles. Until like when the studio card fell on top of the script, I already knew. I was like, this studio is about to F up the entire script. I didn't know if the director would be on the side of the studio or the script though. So the jury was out on the director. But when this card fell out on top of position 3, I was like, the studio was about to try to change the whole scripts. Wild beauty, beholding her brave beast. I like that. Alliteration. Did I even finish this? Yeah, I did. It's that like live life to the full energy again. And then the Six of Wands is the last card. So I'm gonna read that and then I feel like I don't even need the not for this, the Spirit Keeper's Tarot. I kind of want to like marathon myself. Ah! With different decks, but we'll see. Six of Wands, the battle is over, so dance down that well deserved parade. Your admiring crowd is cheering your victory. You are the leader here. Take on that responsibility and set yourself some worthwhile goals. That would have triggered the mess out of me. Like maybe a year ago, let's see, November? Less so in November. Before last July, last June, like when I looked up my four numbers or whatever the life path numbers are or whatever, the four pillars numbers, and I think my second and third numbers are both one. And the first time I saw that, I was like one leadership. Ugh. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want responsibility. Who wants responsibility? The reason why I like my job right now is because I don't have a lot of responsibility. I have limited responsibility and I like it. But with great responsibility comes great power sometimes. Cuz responsibility without power is like, oh, it's just like to be responsible for the sake of being responsible. I'm not that boring. Not that that's boring. Um I mean, I just said how I feel about responsibility. But responsibility, it's something that I don't mind as much. Like standing out, sticking out, being a leader. Like my Chiron is in Leo natally. So, if I had some Chironic, um, like whatever of like being center stage, having a voice, having a presence, like sharing what I actually like think or feel or whatever. Like I went through that whole Chiron, like I said, 6/7 of my life, 24 out of 25 years, maybe even more. For Leo, for Chiron and Leo, I'd say like last June, I really like started working on that. And I was already going through like a Venus reawakening and awakening of my Venus because Venus was something that I suppressed in my chart for a good majority of my life. My Venus is in Aries, working on my Chiron in Leo, reaching towards my North Node in Sagittarius. It's like it activated a grand fire trine in my chart. And I was like, this is too much fire. I miss being watery. I miss being earth. And I feel like sometimes I'm still like, and that's why I feel like that's why the Two of Swords is at the bottom of this. Because sometimes still I'm like, and like with this strength card, especially, it's like I'm still sort of like learning the balance. You know what I mean? And I feel like it is even more recently. And it's something that it's like, I don't know when it happened or like what exactly triggered it, like what specifically. But I have realized here recently that there are some aspects of self that I am a lot more comfortable with. Mostly my fire. Because it's just like, but like that was the thing. Because it was a few months ago, maybe August. I think it was like it was August. I think it was in August. I had like finally gotten used to all the fire in my chart. And then something else came up. And I was like, this is too much. Like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, what? What is this? And it's something that I know I reached out to like Corey. Probably, I mean, I talked about it with Reem. You know, That's one thing that, like, before I started working, like, after I've started working, or after I've started, it's just like I don't have as much time as I used to have, which, is understandable because 8 plus hours of my day are now, like, you know, there. I talked to, like, Russ when I think I was actually talking to Russ when it first got triggered, and then I think I worked through it a little bit. Then it got triggered even more deeply, and I talked to Reem and Russ again and Corey about it, and then, like, Corey actually, the light body oracle, helped me a lot to work through that. Um, and then, like, at the time, I don't know if I talked about it with Rob specifically, but through, like, very sort of like parallel, like very adjacent night stuff. I hope you have a, like, good sleep, girl. You have a great day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to potentially seeing a video from you tomorrow, but also, take your time, and all the best with um helping your daughter out and being able to, like, use. I think that's so cool. Like, when you can, like, when there are people in your family who are like, yeah, you know what I mean? That level of support is amazing. Not to say that I don't have it. I mean, I don't, but also at the same time, I don't know if that's something that I necessarily like. If my mom was like, "Hey, Patrick, like, would you pull me some cards?" I'm like, "No, why? Ew, no. Don't even. If you're watching this right now, stop." And to my little brother who, like, made an appearance one day, if you're watching this right now, unsubscribe. But anyway, I love that for you, Steph. I love it for a lot of people. I know Eve said that. I think her son, was it her son? I think one of them. Does Eve have more than one son? Anyway, one of her kids watched one of her videos. I remember she brought that up. I was like, "What? That's so cool." Anyway, um, yeah, I did. I made it a point to work through it, and so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that I did. You know what I mean? It's like it was my intention to not continue to be in that space of internal dissonance and to allow different parts of myself or aspects of myself to come to the forefront and to understand that it's still me. It's like, well, here's more of me that I have to not reject or neglect or run from. So I'll do my best to be cordial. Um, but yeah, it's just here recently. I'm like, wow, like, huh. And what's interesting, I guess, I don't know if that is my North Node Sagittarius and healing the Chiron in Leo, but it's like there are things that have been, like, inspired or triggered by other things. She does, and he did. Okay, yeah. I know she has a son, but I was like, I don't know if she has two sons, and I feel like she has a daughter. I think she has three kids, but I'm like, I don't know why I want to say Oyasumi Nasai, good night. I know Yoru Osoku Made Okiteiru is like to stay up late at night or to, like, still be awake late at night. 夜遅くまで起きている. Anyway, I think it's like it's this Two of Swords energy. It's an energy. It's almost like it's not seeing how much progress. And I feel like this part, it's like it's of course it's not only me, right? But it is almost this energy of like the things that we actually do for ourselves in the dark. And it's in the dark because it's like it feels like this card, it's almost like it doesn't realize that it's standing on its own 2 feet. It doesn't realize that it's like gained some kind of strength or gained some kind of power. It doesn't maybe necessarily realize that it's been freed of something that used to be devil energy upright. And maybe that's why like the tower is in reverse. Cuz like not only is it stubborn, but it's very like unshakable. And I feel like it doesn't stop things from happening. It doesn't like stop life from being life or challenge from being challenge or difficulty and hardship from being difficulty and hardship. But it comes a point, I feel like this Queen of Swords and Page of Swords, like there's a fluidity here. All right, see you, Twitty. Yeah, it's very. It gets dark so early now. It's like there's a time to be a little bit more Queen of Swords and there's time to be Page of Swords. And that was the energy here with the script. I was like, I don't know if this is going like Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, Moon, or if it's Moon, Page of Swords, Queen of Swords. And in truth, it's both. But the moon is in the middle. So it's like Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, the moon, and then the Page of Swords, and then the Queen of Swords. It's like the reflective nature of the moon. And there's something about this Two of Swords. It's, I don't know, it's like it brings it into balance. Something about this strength card that's about like bringing it into balance, realizing that it's one thing. But it does so in a way, it's like it doesn't stop the polarity from being what the polarity is. It doesn't demand or require that two things be one in order for there to be that harmonious relationship between them. And that's what I've been feeling like the Two of Swords is supposed to be for me this month. It's like putting them together. You know what I mean? And then they become a greater sword or something like that. I don't know how to explain the visual, but they come together. But they're still like they're like two separate swords that function as one sword. But they don't necessarily become one. Anyway, I do want to pull one of these cards because I just feel it. And I don't want to. Oh, I'm tired. Hey Siri, what time is it? I gotta sleep tonight. We got meetings tomorrow. It's only 7:41. What? It feels like it's like 10. Work today is just like, ugh. I'm gonna take these upright. I know I have some of them. Okay, in reverse. The giveaway, 23 at the bottom. the cards that came out like immediately, I see Earth, and the corn. Earth and the corn. It's like it feels like it's literally the King of Pentacles energy. You know what I mean? Earth, corn, and the giveaway at the bottom. Oh my gosh, that's like literally the first Thanksgiving. Earth, corn. Hopefully, the story ends differently. And that's one thing that I've noticed about what we do as people. That's one thing that I've noticed about people in general. It's that in some ways, it's not that we can't separate ourselves from history, but it's very like looking at the history of humanity, and especially the history of the United States of America, how the pilgrims arrived and the plight of the Native Americans. That story probably applies to a lot of places in the world, not just the United States of America. And then I remember years ago, my dad was like, Stephen Hawking said that if like aliens ever come in contact with humanity, like we're basically going to be the Native Americans, where they're just going to like absolutely crush us because of the things that we haven't built up resistance to and the things that they bring with them and stuff like that. It's like they're so much more advanced. Like if they can make it to us, they're so much more advanced in like every single way. We'd stand no chance. They dominate us. Like that's what happens when two peoples meet. And then I remember being like, no, like just because that's how it works on Earth, just because that's how it worked historically in a lot of places, I don't think that's necessarily every single place. Maybe two like peoples can meet and be friendly. You know what I mean? But also, I guess the thing about Earth is there's a lot of like scarcity, or there was a lot of scarcity, sort of like mindset, competition, stuff like that, right? But with the corn here, it's almost the energy of an Earth. I guess it's an interesting thought experiment about how life would evolve on Earth if we took a cooperation approach instead of a competition approach. And it is going back to that like reversed entropy energy. Because, like Darwinian evolution, it's survival of the fittest. Even in like, with bacteria, plants, animals, it's competition, competing for like limited resources. And the one that's most adapted to their environment, or the one that's able to spin it in whatever way, is the one that wins. And so it's like it's so ingrained in like macroscopic to microscopic. Like we got to eat. If it's plant, animal, whatever, because we don't generate certain things within ourselves, we must consume. Not to say that consumption has anything to do with competition or cooperation, but it's almost like imagine like what the world could be. But I feel like that's also like a part of it though. Because like on one hand, it's like imagine what the world could be if we had cooperation rather than competition. But I think it's like, again, in some ways, it's like it extends to a scale that's a lot smaller, a lot more acute, a lot finer, a lot more microscopic than we'd necessarily think. it's almost like it would be more than just like, people getting along. It's like it would almost, at least from the Darwinian perspective, it would affect like evolution itself. Because like no longer is it about the one who's like the quickest, the most powerful, the smartest, the best at camouflage. Because it's like, well, if this organism blends in with its environment and this one doesn't, or if this subspecies, if this coloring, if this pattern is easier to spot than the other one, then that's the one that the predator is going to go for. And it's like it almost maintains the circle of life. It almost maintains like the food chain and the web, but like we're no longer deciding to like eat this because it's easier. I don't know. It's like things start to not necessarily unravel, but they open up in a way that I wouldn't thought that the earth and the corn would. Where's this book? I think it's down here. Oh gosh. Oh, is it you? Is it you? I think this is the book. No, that's not the book. Is this the book? That's not the book either. It's the book inside the box. Oh gosh. Ah, where's the book? Where's the book? I want to read the book. Oh, there we go. I hope this book is in the box. Let's see. Okay. Hopefully, ain't no butt crack. Oh my crack. I didn't think you could see it though. If you could, I'm sorry. I'll just have to private or delete this whole video. That's fine. $17. Earth. The essence. Earth represents the gift of life. The symbol of this card, the symbol on, this card, refers to the body of the planet Earth, the human body, and nature itself. We're reminded by this symbol that all creatures are born of the earth and human beings are the stewards of all life on this planet. I'm not going to hold it up. It refers to what we make of it, our health, wealth, security, grounding, solidity, and stability. It reminds us that the world of form is a gift from spirit and needs to be treated with respect. The invitation. When the earth symbol appears, it represents a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you now and always. The concrete world you inhabit is there by the grace of spirit, and you are part of it. Much can be accomplished now when you focus on compassionate, reverent service to the world. If you act with integrity, gratitude, and humility, you will find yourself more prosperous than you can imagine. Success is assured when the earth appears as an invitation. The medicine. Do you feel ungrounded or easily thrown off your path lately? It is time to focus on what nurtures you, to open yourself to the healing of Mother Earth and see the abundant world around you. Perhaps you have lost the ability to trust that your needs will be met and have fallen prey to poverty consciousness. Perhaps you have not been eating well. Call me out! Been overworked and stressed and forgotten to breathe in the beauty of your surroundings. When the spirit of earth comes as your medicine, you're being reminded that when you practice self-care, take a walk in nature and focus on the consciousness of abundance, miracles can and do happen. I love it says focus on the consciousness of abundance, and then the corn came out. And people say that corn is abundance, but I'll read it. Corn represents the mother of sustenance and tangible abundance. This symbol represents material prosperity in the world of form that provides stability and sustenance to many. There is more than enough. The invitation, that was the essence. The invitation. You planted a beautiful field of dreams and worked hard. Even in moments when you were losing faith, you continued. Now the spirit of the corn comes to honor this and show you a bountiful harvest. This is the time to reap the rewards of hard work and trust, whether those rewards are financial or the kind of prosperity measured in quality rather than quantity. You are so blessed when this symbol appears. Don't forget to share your good fortune. The medicine. Beware of shortcuts to your dreams or a fast track being offered to you now. Be especially mindful of your feelings of entitlement or an expectation to get something for nothing. This is a time for gratitude, perseverance, and humility. That humility popped up, and gratitude again. Be prepared to work toward your goals and plant the seeds of your intentions consciously and respectfully. Release any insecure thoughts of scarcity, feeling that there is not enough, or worry that someone else could take what is yours. Know that the universe will always provide, but you must be in a relationship with it in order to receive. You will reap what you sow. Take heart. Even if you didn't plant well and have conjured up the illusion of a drought, there is always a new season to begin again. Oh my gosh. What? A cup of pine needle tea before bed. It gives good dreams. It gives great dreams. Oh, I don't think. Do you just like get pine needles and brew it? Like boil them in water? The bottom of the deck is the giveaway, number 23. Oh, this is a lot. My lungs, like, I need to breathe. The giveaway is the gift you offer to life without attachment, without expecting anything back, which is interesting because Corin said to receive, you must be in a relationship with life. Earth is like the aspect of life itself. And the giveaway is like, this is what you offer to life without attachment and without expecting anything. You can only give what is truly yours: a smile, a nod of encouragement, a gentle touch, and a kind word. This is not giving to others what you no longer want, like the sweater that no longer fits, but gifting that which is most precious: your authentic love and genuine feelings. The invitation: make a list of 10 people and things for which you are grateful. There's gratitude again. Connect with the feeling of gratitude. The giveaway comes to ask you to feel the same gratitude without needing anything or anyone to inspire it, and to share this gratitude with those you meet. As you offer thanks, your heart opens and you start realizing how much life has given you. You heal your feelings of scarcity and open yourself to the abundance that surrounds you. The giveaway invites you to be in the flow of life as you give freely and receive freely. The medicine: is it difficult for you to set limits on how much of yourself you give? If you give more than is healthy, then you will not be able to give for long. You'll feel resentful with your partner or associates, or you'll feel like the world owes you something in return. Notice if you give for any reason other than pure generosity. Are you trying to be liked or accepted? Are you hoping to heal an old wound? Start giving to yourself first and foremost. Offer yourself the care, the love, the time, and the abundance that you are longing for. Once you experience plenty, then you can truly give to others. And the part that I like about this is that part where it's like, is it difficult for you to set limits on of how much of yourself you give? Because kind of sort of in a way, the answer to that question is no. But I mean, I don't know. Since this is my reading, these are my readings today. There's a situation at work where I can almost see two sides of a situation. It's because of what happened 2 weeks ago that I feel like there was a part of me that was reaching like a boiling point, and I reached it. But after I reached it, it's almost like it created space for I guess, the other end of that polarity to come in. And now I'm like Two of Swords balancing that, like, it's like I need to have presence, use my voice, and set boundaries. But at the same time, I don't necessarily like want to like uh, cause conflict or be difficult. You know what I mean? And so tomorrow is going to be the challenge of being both, saying what needs to be said, having presence, but also being compassionate, I guess, in it and thoughtful in it. And it is, I guess, it's a little bit of that like pre justice Queen of Swords energy in that regard, where it's like, you know, it's about sort of fairness, it's about balance, it's about what is right. And feelings are a part of the equation. Like they are taken into account, but it's like, it's not to make a decision purely off of the lack of like feeling or emotion. And it's not to make a decision completely based on feeling and emotion. It's to make a choice and decision and to accommodate both to the best of one's ability. And no one's, I'm not expected to be perfect, but I am giving myself the expectation of at least doing my best to be mindful and compassionate and to listen, even though I'm gonna probably have to do quite a bit of talking. So anyway, steep them in hot water. Gotcha. I think it's more than anything, it's an opportunity to exercise fire and water and air to create the earth, to create an abundant earth. Honestly, it's to balance the fire, the air, and the water so that seeds can grow, to bring abundance, and for also like not only for seeds to grow, but for me to grow and to grow in ways that I've never necessarily wanted to hold presence or be like I talked about, right? I've never necessarily wanted to be responsible or to hold a certain like level of presence. You know what I mean? Like if I could do the bare minimum and get by a lot, like I would. That lazy stereotype that they got a Taurus. That everybody else does for a Pisces stereotype. Apparently that they got for Pisces. It's like I wouldn't mind being taken care of. You know what I mean? So like, if you want to, yes. But I guess there is a part of me now that does also desire mm, I don't think purpose is the word, although it may be the easiest for this situation. um it's not necessarily about purpose in the like in the way of purpose. It's more like it's like putting effort towards something that I enjoy, that I find worthwhile. It's like investing in something that I like believe in. You know what I mean? It's like that energy. So these are done. Final message from the mystical medleys. I actually like that was pretty cool. I think it resonated. I think it'll also. It's very. It reminds me of that thing. It's like, but it's like not only is it about knowing what's worth fighting for, like what came out with the time I used the Revelation and the Vitruvian edition of the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, because I feel like with the sun and the moon, like that was a like, what is worth fighting for. But when the Revelation edition like went into a little bit more detail, it's also about the way in which we choose to fight those battles, or the way in which we choose to reach resolution. Because there are things that are worth fighting for, but what is also equally, sometimes more, sometimes less important, is how we fight those battles. Because if it's going to be a Five of Swords situation that puts us with that Five of Pentacles energy, like that's the studio that we don't want to sort of like mimic, right? We don't want to do what that studio is doing, because that studio is already doing what that studio is doing. And that's a studio that I don't want to work for. So I don't want to mimic, you know what I mean? But anyway. And so that was like, because I think sometimes we get caught up in our intentions where we don't necessarily consider or look at how what we do affects other people. And I guess I'm reaching the point now of because of 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to reach the point where it's like it's not about being right. At one point, it was, and I think that was also the lesson, though, because like the first part of the lesson was like not that anything was necessarily like extremely wrong, but the first point of the lesson was like when something is going wrong, to speak up. Because a lot of times, especially in the past, I'll be like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to work out. It's going to fail because of this, because of that, and because of this other thing. As soon as this situation happens, it's going to fall apart. So, after some time, be it, a lot or a little, a situation would happen. All of the sort of flaws in the integrity of whatever system were, tested, and it fell apart under the strain, just like I knew it would. But it's like, okay, but like it's not something that I am of the mind to continue to do. Oh my gosh! What? Ooh. Okay. um, 1 second. I lost my train of thought. At first, it was about being right, and it's like I had to experience something that was wrong in order for me to, again, like the first part of that lesson was like, if you see something as wrong or off, say something. So the first part was to say it, and I didn't necessarily care how it came across, because I went like I didn't say anything for so long that it was like I had to almost like boil over a little bit. Not that I necessarily boiled over, but in a way I kind of sort of did. But because I boiled over in that way, it actually revealed the second part because of my sensitive whatever. It revealed the second part, which is like sometimes it's not that, like, because what came to mind is like it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's not necessarily that energy, but it's more like there was never it's like it was there, but it wasn't there. The thought to be considerate of the other, or other parties, or party or parties, you know what I mean? And so now it's sort of that like it's more than just about being right. It's more than just about like saying something. because going back to the balance of fire, water, and air, what does this sort of like set the stage for my experience to be? The air is where that like right, wrong, this way, that way comes in. The water is the balance of one's own feelings and the feelings of someone else. And then the fire is the fire is fire. But all of those things, again, it's like they nurture the earth. They are the environment in which the earth finds itself, and earth responds to its environment. So, what kind of environment do I want to help create? Going back to the symphony and the choir and the orchestra, where do I want to lend my energy? What do I want to bring forward? You know what I mean? So, guess I'll find out tomorrow. I know what I want to do. And at first, it was like oh, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I do want to do it, but I don't want to do it because, I do want to do this, but I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's an opportunity. So, that was these. What's at the top of the deck? The Gatherer. Interesting. Better share that corn. Don't just hoard corn. You know what I mean? There were so many cards that were like, share. I'm surprised the Six of Pentacles ain't come out. The energy is definitely there. I feel like maybe in this instance it didn't have to come out. You know what I mean? It's like it's so obvious. Or not obvious, but like the energy is very present. So why would the card have to? You know what I mean? Final card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. I almost said Mystical Dimensions. I have the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators. Where is that deck? It's fine. Oh, that was like 5 cards that almost tipped over. I think the Blade was one of them. So for me, I guess the final message from the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards and activators. I'm gonna keep shuffling until something. Oh, it's the giveaway. The final card is the card that was at the bottom of the deck, and it actually flipped out the lower world. The giveaway in the lower world with the seer at the bottom of the deck. So that's everything I was just talking about then. Because I feel like the seer in the lower world before was an energy of, again, it's like seeing the many ways in which something would fall apart or fail or wasn't prepared. And it's like rather than doing anything to prepare someone or a team, it's just like, I'm going to wait until this falls flat on its face. And with that energy, it's the beauty way in reverse, and it's water in reverse, and it's the blade in reverse. But oddly enough, the heart of the sky is upright. I feel like in this situation, the heart of the sky is it's an energy of like that's the way it sort of like is. That's the general consensus. That's the general thought. Again, air being the mind in some way, reason, logic, stuff like that. It's like that's at the core of a lot of how things sort of worked. It's like, wait for it to fail, watch it fall flat on its face. Don't do anything to really like steer it or move it in a new way. And so it is, in a way, it's about like offering something different or taking a different approach. I don't think I've ever noticed the cat in this. I don't know if it's I don't think it's a cheetah or a jaguar. A puma? A cougar? A bobcat? There's some kind of cat face right there. I've never noticed it before. But I also haven't used this second one. So there's almost this energy here, and it reminds me of a dream I had one time. There's an energy here of like a beacon or a power structure in the lower. It's like a lighthouse. Energy of a beacon. Huh? It's the energy of a lighthouse in the lower world that has no light. And it's like the giveaway is offering the light, or it's putting the light in the lighthouse in the lower world to bring to that space and to help make navigating it easier. Almost in a way, sort of nodding to um the divine spark and cosmic light energy or something like that, where it's like there's some cosmic light that reignites the divine spark within, or it at least like gives it some kind of it's not kindling, but you know what I mean. That's a spark. It gets it to spark, but it may not necessarily like catch flame at first. I don't think it's necessarily. I don't know if it's always necessarily supposed to. It's very like it's not, instead of like points of contact, it's like points of ignition, where it's like this requires 5 strikes to light up, to blaze, to become a blaze, right? But we're not necessarily, or not everything is necessarily supposed to give the thing all 5 sparks that it needs. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two, sometimes maybe it is all 5, sometimes it's like 7, sometimes it is just 1 or 2. And it's like, that's all that we're supposed to do. And I think I'm very much like I don't believe in singular reasoning. I don't actually, that's a belief that I need to re-examine because I don't know where I stand right now. But I used to be the type of person where it's like I don't believe in singular reasoning. So I don't believe in doing something for just one reason. Like this one reason alone is enough for me to do this or believe that or not believe this. It's like I'm gonna need a few. And I know I had one friend in particular um, who would try to be helpful. And he was like, "You never listen to me, but whenever someone else says something, then you do it." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't believe in singular reasoning." You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's a belief that I necessarily hold anymore. Because I know for a minute it was that energy of like not needing like 3, 4, 5, 10, 25, 579 confirmations to do something. It's about which one of those cards talked about the flow of life. I honestly don't know if I believe in singular reasoning anymore. I would say more often than not, probably not. But at the same time, if the one reason is good enough, you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, what did you say? Flint and steel can spark revolutionary change. Yeah. But I think it is an energy of like, it's not necessarily always, at least, all supposed to happen at once. Because it's like it's something that's so quick. It's almost like mob mentality. It's the energy behind mob mentality, where it's like you're lost to the moment and you're doing things for reasons that you don't even really take the time to consider if it's like you don't take the time to consider if like it's something that you truly believe in or not, or if you're just like in the moment with everybody else and you're like in the energy, so you do it. And it feels like that has limited ability to sometimes provide meaningful, deep, impactful personal change. And it's not that it can't change a system, it's not that it can't change a structure, it's not that it can't, be a lot of things. But it's like some things are kind of sort of more of a slow burn. Some things need that though. You know what I mean? Like if you hungry, then you don't necessarily want to wait the full 5 hours for your thing to roast and stew. Maybe you want something a little quicker because your stomach is on E. I don't know. Time and place for everything and whatnot, right? All that stuff. Sometimes it is about how and why and who and what and when and all those W and H words. I think the only H word is how. The other ones are W words. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. D. Sorry. Well, howdy. Even though I didn't use these, I pulled them out. So I'm going to get a final message from the Revelation edition as well. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Oh, see, here it is. Here's the Six of Pentacles, the giver. I love that the giver, or I love that the Six of Pentacles came out in this deck, literally saying the giver, because it is about giving. And that's what the corn said, I think, or Earth. I think it was Earth. Like once you reach a certain space, then you can truly give, right? The card that came out is the Herald of the Winds, which is the Page of Swords energy again. Or it sits in the space of the Page of Swords in this deck. Not necessarily Page of Swords energy. But it says the Ventures of the Dauntless. And I love Ventures of the Dauntless because I feel like that's what the whole lights, camera, action was sort of about, right? The Page of Swords does come with a message. The heralds come with messages. What are you heralding? What is being heralded on the winds? Let's see. Well, those cards are out now. Should I put them back? No, I'll keep them out. What is being heralded on the winds? I'll give it 3. Oh, gosh. Sometimes my cards are just like me. It's not until I set a deadline. I'm like, I'm going to give this 3 more shuffles, and then the card comes out. Oh. So the Herald of the Winds is heralding the Empress. Orania's Gate. Gloria Mundi. What is Gloria Mundi? What is Gloria? Is that like glory of the world? Let's ask Siri. My nose. My nose. Gloria Mundi. It's a film. It's Latin. Thus passes worldly glory. Seek transit Gloria Mundi. Oh, seek transit Gloria Mundi means thus passes worldly glory. So Gloria Mundi is just worldly glory. Worldly glory, Orania's gate. I think, well, I guess for me personally, there's a certain element in some situations where it's about sort of like fairness, but I would always err on the side of empowering others to make their own choices and decisions. Because even though I'm more comfortable with the energy of being a leader, I'm not necessarily trying to lead nobody. You know what I mean? I was like, what do you really want? How do you really want this to go? More so than like what you want. I just said, what do you really want? It's like more so than what you want. Like, how do you want this to go? How do you want this? It's almost like getting wishes from like a genie. It's very like the monkey's paw, where it's like you just said you wanted X amount of money. You didn't say how you wanted that money. So we took your son and you can have the money that his life insurance policy paid out. How about that? And you're like, I'd rather have my son than the money. And it's like, well, you didn't clarify. Not that it's necessarily that sinister or nasty, but I do think sometimes we don't necessarily give as much thought to how as we do to what or even why, and especially when the W words. It's like we consider all the W words, but we forget that how is also important. It's more than just what, who, when, where, and why. And when it comes to Earth, how can arguably be the most important, because how sets precedent, and Earth is an element of precedence in some ways. Until Earth cleanses, then but then that's when you get like fire or water or air. You can have Earth cleansing, like earthquakes. Um, but anyway, what am I looking up right now? I don't know. I have the little white book. Let's see. I'm gonna read these in the new little white book. So the Herald of the Winds. Yes. I did not know where these were, so I'm glad I opened up to the section I needed. Herald of the Winds, Ventures of the Dauntless. You are fearless. You'll undertake an enterprise even while it's still speculative. The future is uncertain, but that won't stop you from chasing fortune. Speak your truth, walk your talk. Pictured here is a Roma woman traversing the Silk Road during the rule of the Byzantine Empire. In one hand, she holds a bronze sword, which she acquired by trade, and in the other, her enchanted divination cards. Inscribed upon her sword is the mantra invoking, oh girl, Vajrayogini. Vajrayogini, invoking Vajrayogini, the Dakini or female essence of transcendental passion, a passion that will break down every barrier in your path. Move forward to move upward. Speak with a commanding voice and people will listen. Maybe that's advice about this meeting tomorrow. Speak with a commanding voice and people will listen. But I'm like, I ain't trying to be nobody command though. You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to be ignored either. I am trying to be heard. So I am trying to be listened to more than I'm trying to be heard. But also, I'm not trying to. Yeah, anyway. The Empress is what this the Herald was heralding. You are on the verge of producing a work of worthy admiration. Hopes become reality. There's that energy again. Positive omen of plenitude. There's that energy again. Gloria Mundi is the muse for poets, writers, artists, and musicians. Mother Goddess is proud of you. The heavens shine blessings upon your life path. The Empress also embodies the spirit of rhetoric. She wields the art of charismatic persuasion. Fertile ground and high productivity are prophesied. The inspiration here is Wu Zetian or Wu Zetian, the only woman in imperial Chinese history to rule a dynasty. Here Wu Zetian is offering as the goddess Ho Tu, the Empress Mother Earth. Well, there's that Mother Earth energy again. That's that whatever. All right. See you later, Holly. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not eating this. This is Thunder over Earth, I think. I think this is Thunder over Earth, but I am not sure. I need to check my email today before I go to sleep. Let me look this up. Favorite color red. Drink of choice Hennessy. Favorite movie Bad Boys. And I play for both teams, bruh. That's a song. I don't play for both teams. I play for one team. Well, let's see. I didn't even know I had this on my phone, but it is. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Wait, this is Earth over Thunder, I think. I think it's Earth over Thunder. Right? Oh, heaven. That's heaven? Oof. I got that all wrong. Heaven over lake. I got both of those wrong. This is heaven over lake. They're both air energies. Okay. Heaven over lake is caution, number 10. What's lake over heaven? Lake over heaven is decisive action, number 43. Decisive action and caution, but we'll do caution. Number 10. This is Lu. Treading on the tiger's tail, proceed with caution. Treading on the tail of the tiger, know the high from the low. Exercise discernment. Proceed with caution. By treading with caution and yet being sure of your every step, you succeed at a dangerous undertaking. Be careful of those who try to disrupt your path. Walk your path alone for now. Trust in your own values. Do not seek out support or aid at this time. The perseverance of a hermit brings good fortune. The endeavor will succeed. To know your future, you must review your past. Ooh, I like that. And it kind of sort of does go back to that energy and that, I guess, instance in particular. It goes back to that energy of like wanting to handle it better, or at least differently. I think better then is different than better now, though, too. I don't think the situations are necessarily exactly comparable. I think there are differences. Um, but it's definitely something I definitely wasn't gonna give it much thought. Definitely was just gonna sort of be in the moment. Definitely think that it's helpful to give it more thought. You know what I mean? To sort of prepare myself mentally because I feel like in some ways I am a little bit more in between. Um I have the privilege of being a little bit more in between in this scenario in particular. But I also have a responsibility And more than to anyone else, I have a responsibility to myself because the how is important to me more than the outcome. The how is important. So, with all that, I hope that if you watch this, you've enjoyed question mark or found resonance in question mark me reading me. You know what I mean? And if you wanted to get to know me better or where I come from or why I guess hold some of the perspectives that I hold, then there you go. You know what I mean? So I will catch you when I catch you. I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment with all that you wish to experience. And I guess a part of, yeah, I do hope that you take a moment to consider the how. Because I think sometimes there are some things that we go about getting in some ways, and it's all sort of relative or whatever, right? Uh, but after we get it, it's like, man, I wish I would have like gone about it in a different way. It is almost a little bit of a Five of Swords energy. And I talked about the Five of Swords that went into the Five of Pentacles, and that's that Five of Pentacles studio, right? I don't want to, whatever. But yeah, because it's almost like at some point, it's not about necessarily dwelling on the past, but it's like at some point, we do kind of sort of have to ask ourselves how we want to go about things in the moment rather than it always being like a hindsight after the fact. Man, I wish I would have like did it differently or said it differently or used a different approach or did this or did that, because that's where the cost lies. The cost lies in the how. That's what we pay for sometimes too, regardless of what the outcome is. Sometimes we pay for the how and not the who. Well, we can pay for the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. But the how can maybe sometimes be like, how much do you want to pay? And how long do you want to be paying it? And to who? For why? Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.